But everything is about just the economics. You have a toxic economic system. And because of that, you see the ramifications of it. Not only the criminality, fascism of Trump, Pence, and Republicans, Nazis, Christian lunatics, all the whole crowd, but you got the disaster of climate change, which is all based on this economics of toxic structure. Because look, right from the get-go, the economics is about profit. It's not about you. That's the whole screw-up right there. The main point is your economics was a fraud and a disaster for you. Because right away, the main thing it's after is money and profit. Did you make a profit? It's not about you. You're pushed aside. You already don't count. It's just profit. Make money. Make a profit. And as you see, when that's the whole structure, then there aren't any ethics, there isn't any justice, there isn't any humanity. And even though they try and tell you, there isn't any morality. It's all just about profit and money. And everywhere around the world, that's the system. You can try and divide it out as make it, oh, it's this or it's that, or it's got communism, or it's socialism, or it's capitalism, or it's a dictator, or it's a premier, or it's a on and on and on. But it's always been the same. Even when it was about a king and an aristocracy, it still was the same. You were subservient to the system that pushed you aside. You were subservient. And even right now, you're still subservient. You're not there, you can tell by COVID and everything that how the things are played out because of COVID. It's all based on this economics. That's a disaster. And so, of course, it's filling up your oceans with plastic. You're dumping tons and tons and God knows hundreds of thousands of tons into your air of toxins, into your air, in your water, in your soil. You're allowing companies to leave poisons and pesticides on your food. And then be charged a special, oh, it's special, if it's not, if it's organic. And then it'll cost you more, but it don't have as, the toxicity. Well, wait a minute, it's your food. It's your food. All of it should be free of pesticide and toxic residue, right? It's your food because you're first. It's your air and water first. Any company that's poisoning your air, your water, folks, they're out of business. You close them down. They're criminals of the worst kind because they're doing it against all of you. That's time to get the key here is it's the economics. The whole structure of economics is wrong. It's a disaster. It's always been, up to now, a disaster. And it's been exacerbated by the Industrial Revolution, which kicked all that poison and toxicity into high gear. Because you also started to change the technology that you had to be able to do things and how you did things. So you're better at mining and steel productions and also using energy sources. But your energy sources were all toxic. Oil, coal, and of course nuclear. They're all toxic. Now, you, through scientific research, this is why Republicans hate scientific research, because it points out facts. And because it points out facts, it shows, hey, this economic system of profit at any price is toxic. It's wrong. And that scientific research is saying, hey, you got to change. And you got to change really fast. Well, at the time of this recording, it's essentially too late to avert real climate disaster. Scientific researchers now saying, just like they had been saying for years, if you don't do anything in this big view, it's not only going to change, it's going to speed up in that change of toxicity as well. And that's what we've found out. That's the most recent study, is that climate change isn't coming, it's here. It's underway. And now with this momentum, it'll be decades, lifetimes. Because the momentum, you'll have to stop everything with oil and coal, nuclear, right now, and it would still be essentially a lifetime before you could change away from the residue and that toxicity that's in your air, in your water. That's pretty dramatic, folks. There's no getting around it. That's a pretty dramatic thing. It's not science fiction. It's scientific fact, research over and over again. There isn't any doubt about climate change. The only ones trying to say there's doubt are the scumbag Republicans, because they get all their money from the very corporations that poison and pollute you. And they cling to this economic system and say, oh, we got to defend this capitalism, this thing, we got to defend it. No, it's not good for you, because you're not included. It's not about you, it's about profit. Not about you. It says right there, look at Economics 101. The whole system's based on just judging success by if you made a profit. And that's all you got. Well, if that's all you got, you're seeing the outcome. Your oceans are filling up with plastic. Garbage dump. It's become a garbage dump. And all your air, and these extreme weather that's now starting to show up. And unless you deal with the basic thing of the economics, you're going to just be kind of trying to put on a Band-Aid on a disaster, global disaster. That's only bad for you and for your kids and for their kids. And boy, are they going to look back and say, oh man, your kids are going to look back and say, what were you thinking? You had the science. You had the science for over 30 years telling you, hey, there's climate change here. Hey, you better change. You better. And for all those time, all the corporations lied to you. All the big money lied to you to keep poisoning and polluting you so they could make the money. And money was more important than you, because the economic structure is that way. You have to throw out the whole economic system and put it to the correct basis, which is you. You're first. It's your air and water first. It's your food supply first. You're first. And of course, here in America, that means throwing out everything Republican. Everyone and everything Republican. Because as you've seen with 6th January, and Trump's come, and Pence, y'all, what do you got? You got Christian fascism, who's all about repression and denial of rights. You got Nazis and racist groups, all these various, real bigoted, racist idiots, and they're all about destroying your rights and freedoms, putting in repression, fascism. And you got all the Republicans taking in the money from the corporations of poison and pollution, who want to keep it going. It's all the Republican Party. All of it's the Republican Party. So you got to get rid of everything Republican. But Republicans are so desperate, and they know, oh, those corporations know. Don't kid yourself. They know climate change is real. And what's coming down. What can come down. And they're trying to hide from it. And the Republicans also know what's coming down. So what are they trying to do? They're trying to block you from even voting. And that it'll be only Republicans who will judge the vote, who will determine the validity of the vote, who will count the vote, who will certify the vote. Fascism, dictatorship. And who are they supporting? Who is it? Nazis, Christian fascists, racism, and the big money to keep in control, keep poisoning you, make things worse. Time has come today. Reality is here. That's why Republicans can't stand reality. They got to have Fox News, QAnon, the AONs, all these lunatics, the Alex Jones, the Limbaugh scumbags, all of them. They got to have them lying to you, generate racism, generate hatred, generate this religious fervor that's all based on repression and ignorance. And look at them. It's the Republican unvaccinated who are dying from COVID. Because Republicans, see, lied to them so much that Republicans even lied and said, hey, COVID, well, it's just a hoax, said Trump. Trump said it's a hoax. And Republicans all went along with it, and over 600,000 of Americans alone died. It was the highest death total of any country in the world. When it's trying to say, oh, America's so great, we get all this medical stuff and everything. And here you got it, played out by COVID. And say you got a bunch of idiots who are saying, oh, you can't trust science, you can't trust medicine, you can't trust, oh no, gee. And the unvaccinated Republicans are dropping like flies. Because they believe, they held on, they're based in fascism, they're based in this hatred, they're based in this racism, this bigotry, in their minds. Even though they're trying to dress it like they're in Christian garb, they're actually just fascism. And they're backed by the big money. The money. Disaster is Republican. And that's why they got to have those lie machines of Fox News and all of them. Because, you know, they have to lie to you. They have to keep lying to you. So that you keep being ignorant, stupid, violent, racist, bigoted. There you go. And that's what you're seeing. And they want you to bow down to the golden calf, to put it in their vernacular. They want you to be subservient to the system of poison, economics of toxic poison. Reap what you sow. The Republican moneylenders are in the temple of your democracy, destroying it, as you saw on 6 January. The Republican moneylenders, racism, bigots, Christian fascists, are in the temple. You know what to do.